conversation. There's one more wide receiver prospect that has a big question we have to answer in order to determine if they are worthy of the number 10 overall pick. This was my first certified draft crush this offseason. That is wide receiver Treylon Burks, Arkansas. Here's the big question. Can he run the full route tree? That's the big question. Because he wasn't asked to do it at Arkansas. Now, that doesn't mean he can't do it, because they used him as like, we're going to get you the ball and you just go. You make plays. So if I had to grade his route running, it would almost be an incomplete. Now, I listened to an interview of former Jets GM Mike Tannenbaum. And before you click off the video, yes, he wasn't the best GM, but the guy does know a thing or two about football. And he said something that was really simple, but I found it to be really profound. He said, when you're drafting in the first round, draft good players from good schools and ask them to do exactly what you saw them do on tape. Treylon Burks is a good player. Treylon Burks comes from a good school, SEC competition. But he was not asked to run an NFL route tree at Arkansas. So now, if he isn't a polished route runner, and you're thinking about taking him at the number 10 overall pick, we have to ask ourselves, here's the big question, is Treylon Burks a unicorn? Does he have one elite skill set? Something he does better than anybody else that can make up for that? Now, why do we have to ask that question? Well, go ahead, write down, take a pen and paper, write down off the top of your head the 15 best wide receivers in the NFL. In any order, write them down. And what you'll come up with is 11 elite route runners and 4 unicorns. You'll start with great route runners: Cooper Kupp, Devontae Adams, Stephon Diggs. Maybe guys like Keenan Allen to round out the bottom of your 15. But then also in there will be 4 guys who aren't necessarily elite route runners, but they have a unicorn trait. That is Tyreek Hill, the fastest human being I've ever seen with the football in his hands. That's Deebo Samuel, who is your number 1 wide receiver and your number 2 running back. That's Mike Evans, the biggest catch radius in the NFL, 6'5" and change, long arms, strong. And the 4th unicorn is DK Metcalf, who is built like Mr. Olympia and runs a 4.3 40. So if he's not an elite route runner, the evidence tells us he has to be a unicorn in order to become a top 15 receiver in the NFL. And I think it's reasonable that if you're taking a player number 10 overall in the draft, you expect them to develop into one of the top 15 players at their position. So put your answer below. Is Treylon Burks a unicorn, and what is his unicorn ability? I think he might be. I think his playmaking and his yards after catch ability, how strong he plays at the catch point, I think he's a unicorn. I'm interested to hear your answer to that question.